Hello, this is Mitchell Knox, and this is my psychology and film project over the movie As Good as It Gets. Melvin Udall is the main character of the movie As Good as It Gets. He lives an isolated life in his apartment, writing novels, and is rude to most people. He engages in the same activities every day, such as avoiding cracks in the sidewalk, eating the same meal at the same diner every day, while sitting at the same table and being served by the same waitress. He also avoids touching things that could have germs such as people, door handles, and dogs. He wears gloves whenever he finds himself being forced to touch something. This is an explanation of the big five traits and how it relates to Melvin. The first one being openness. People with this trait show characteristics such as being open to new things, being creative, and having a wide range of interest. Melvin scores low on openness as having to do things not in his routine make him stressed. This can be seen on the day his waitress wasn't at work and he ended up getting kicked out of the diner because he yelled at another worker. The next trait is conscientiousness. This trait includes behaviors such as high organization, impulse control, and planning. Melvin shows differing levels of traits associated with conscientiousness. For example, he is very neat and plans everything. In the movie, he went on a road trip with his friends and planned what music to play depending on the situation beforehand, labeling all of the tapes. However, Melvin doesn't show good impulse control because he often says mean remarks without thinking about how it will make the other person feel. Next is extroversion. People with this trait are usually highly sociable, talkative, and enjoy being the center of attention. Melvin is definitely low on this trait as he enjoys being alone. Many times in the movie he tells his neighbors to never bother him no matter the circumstances. There is only one person he enjoys talking to, and that is his waitress at the diner. The next trait is agreeableness. Usually agreeableness involves characteristics such as being helpful to others, compassionate, and trusting others. At the beginning of the movie, Melvin is low on agreeableness and could care less about helping others, as even when his neighbor was assaulted, he didn't want to help. However, towards the end of the movie, Melvin softened up and ended up changing the life of the waitress and the neighbor for the good. The last trait of the Big Five is neuroticism. This involves having feelings of sadness, being easily stressed, irritable, and having mood swings. Melvin scores high on this character trait as he almost perfectly fits this description. This can be seen on a day when Melvin's whole routine is messed up. His waitress was missing at the diner, the new waiter took his plastic silverware that he brought from home, which caused him to yell and get kicked out, and then his psychiatrist wouldn't see him because he was booked, and again Melvin was asked to leave. He also gets extremely upset when someone knocks on his door or interrupts his work. I decided to diagnose Melvin with obsessive-compulsive disorder, which is under the category of obsessive-compulsive and related disorders in the DSM-5. The DSM-5 describes OCD as a disorder that is accompanied by obsessions and compulsions. It defines obsessions as recurrent and persistent thoughts, urges, or images that are experienced as intrusive and unwanted, and compulsions as repetitive behaviors or mental acts that an individual feels driven to perform in response to an obsession or according to the rules that must be applied rigidly. Melvin shows textbook symptoms of having OCD throughout the movie, such as his ritualistic behaviors involving turning on his lights and locking his front door 3 times, avoiding cracks in the sidewalk, and being served the same meal by the same waitress at the same restaurant every day. Another common symptom of OCD is being obsessed with contamination and cleaning excessively in order to suppress those feelings. This symptom is displayed extensively by Melvin when he wears gloves in public, immediately washes his hands with multiple bars of soap upon getting home, and uses plastic silverware at the diner to avoid germs. At least from our point of view in the movie, it seems as Melvin is missing a common symptom of OCD of having forbidden or frowned upon thoughts. These thoughts can be aggressive, sexual, or religious in nature. In the movie, Melvin explains to his waitress that he was prescribed pills to control his OCD, but he doesn't like to take them. Instead, he just lives with his symptoms, but doesn't seem to be bothered by them. The medication he was prescribed is likely an antidepressant, which has been proven to be an effective treatment for OCD. Another possible treatment his psychiatrist could try so Melvin wouldn't have to take pills is cognitive behavioral therapy. There are many types of CBT, but the main technique used by therapists is called exposure and response prevention. This is usually done with a therapist who will encourage the patient to delay their compulsive behavior longer each time they feel the need to do it, until they are habituated into not performing their rituals. The movie As Good as It Gets does a great job of showing how having OCD can affect someone's life. The movie includes the symptoms associated with having OCD, such as Melvin's obsession with being clean and his compulsions involving the lights, door, and his breakfast ritual, but does not exaggerate the things that people with OCD do. It is extremely important that filmmakers accurately display disorders in movies, as the character in the movies may be the only time that some people experience someone with any particular disorder.